we're gonna get to the point in this documentary where this is the final year. They put an expiration date on it, which is just insane to think about. That they go into the season saying that it's gonna be Jackson's last year. Jordan isn't gonna play for anybody but Jackson. And realistically, like I said, in this cap scenario that you had in '98, Jordan couldn't go anywhere else. Like he was going to be brutally underpaid if he was going to go to another situation. He wasn't going to go back to Chicago playing for a different coach, whoever Krause had in mind. Do we feel like we lost something after '98? Did Jordan have more to give that we never were able to see? Because obviously he leaves for 2 years and then he comes back with the Wizards and nothing's the same.
I mean, he comes back with the Wizards at that age and he still scores 20 points a game, even in his last
50. He had a 50-pointer.
He had something. Yeah, he had something to give. Do we have a second? I want to something.
Yes.
All right, I want to take this.
We have lots of seconds.
Because a lot of people are not few. The only person I've seen, frankly, in the national media who was seen fit to defend the honor of a maligned Jerry Krause was Mike Vaccaro of the New York Post, who tweeted out that he's being unfairly trashed, and he is. All right.
And his voice isn't in it. He's not in it.
He's being set up as the villain here. And he and the two Jerrys made this decision to blow it up, and that's a joint decision, I think, a joint thing, and you can debate that, and so that's fair game, totally fair game to debate.
Always been the debate, right?
But what isn't fair is the maligning of Jerry Krause that is allowed to go unanswered by Pippen and Jordan, on the basis of Jerry Krause's personality and demeanor and appearance. Okay, Jerry Krause. I got to back up. I have an agenda. All right.
No, Bob, this is going on Twitter right after the show.
That's fine. I want it there. I have an agenda. Okay. The agenda is this. There were 3 certified FOJs at the time. Only 3 that I know of. I may be wrong. I'm not omniscient. I don't know of anyone else. A friend of Jerry, right? Mm-hmm. In the media. Ira Brokow of the New York Times, Joe Gilmartin of the Phoenix Gazette, and me. I became an acquaintance / friend of Jerry Krause early on in my career as an NBA beat writer. He was a scout, and he was a part of a cadre of scouts that included guys like Gene Bumper Termolen of Atlanta and Bob Ferry Sr. and Dickie McGuire and the Knicks and others. And he was a very well respected scout. Let me ask you a question, both of you. Do you know what his official nickname was inside the NBA community? And it wasn't Crumbs.
No.
Right? The Sleuth.
What was it? The Sleuth?
Sleuth. Now, it was a nickname that was part mockingly in jest, because, and also part out of utter respect for the quality of the work that he did as a scout. Now, the NBA scouting fraternity, and it was a fraternity they got along. They didn't share the detailed information, but they shared information. They went out drinking together. When they bumped into each other on the road, if they were scouting the same game, they'd go to a bar after the game. He wasn't part of that. His nickname was the Sleuth because he operated in a secret defense. He didn't feel comfortable, I think, perhaps socially, because they were all ex-jocks for the most part.
Yeah.
Backup center. Bob Ferry was a backup center, even a starter. Dickie McGuire was a borderline Hall of Famer with the Knicks, and there were other scouts who had played, and he was the outsider, the little squat, little guy that what was his background, and compared to theirs, and he was sensitive to that. And he was given a nickname by somebody. I'm going to find out who. I think it was Pat Williams, but I'm not sure. I'm going to find out. But the Sleuth. And that's what he was known. But it was out of respect, too, because he did a good job. Now, let's take a deep breath. Did he inherit Michael Jordan from Rod Thorne's lucky pick? And Rod Thorne admitted it last night, how lucky he was. Yes.
Portland.
Did he manipulate a draft day trade to get Scottie Pippen of Central Arkansas? Yes. Did he draft Charles Oakley out of Virginia Union? Yes. Did he trade Oakley later on for Bill Cartwright to help make that team whole? Yes. Did he later sign Dennis Rodman? Yes. Did he later sign Jim Paxson? Yes. Did he later sign
Jackson?
Kerr? Yes. And most importantly, did he pluck the iconoclastic Maverick, who was shunned by the NBA because of an inflammatory book he had written years ago, Maverick, in which he called out players, detailed his own drug use, etc. Phil Jackson, because he had been a successful coach in the CBA at the Albany Patroons? Yes. And Phil Jackson knows to this day, hey, Phil, you should go out now and set the record straight to stop these people from maligning Jerry Krause's memory when he's not here to defend himself. Now, did Jerry Krause actually say that coaches and players don't win championships, organizations do, we don't know. Jerry Krause claims in this show, in this documentary, that he was misquoted, that he said coaches and players alone don't do it, organizations do. Was that revisionist history? I don't know. I don't know to whom he said that originally. I don't know who it was. I'd like that guy to step forward if he's still with us and say, Jerry, you're lying.
That's
you're
so
covering your own
interesting.
ass. I don't know. But let's say he did. Then he's totally maligned. Jerry Krause did a tremendous job. Now, the great line on Jerry Krause was uttered by Steve Kerr in this documentary last night, in which he said something to the effect he did this and this, but he couldn't get out of his own way. Yes, socially, Jerry messed himself up with these people. All right, and there's no question. But I'm telling you that he was he monumentally helped build that team. They could not give him enough credit, and it's disgraceful for anybody, whether it's Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, or you, Phil Jackson, to demean this guy now.
This
and
is all
step forward and do the right thing by Jerry Krause.